Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today we have a couple of conversations for you, dialogues for you. Let's look at the first one first. Welcome aboard.
好，我们第一段对话的标题是 Welcome aboard， 就是欢迎加入。这个 aboard 本来是登船的意思，那这个字常常很多人会跟 abroad 会搞不清楚。
No, I see this all the time. It just happened this week with one reading.
Yeah, 所以要小心啊。那这个地方我自己的记法是这个 board 可以是一块板子，所以 aboard 就是上这个板子。
Literally, you're going on the boards of the ship.
Yeah, 所以其实它的意思也是这样。所以登船，欢迎登船，登船就登上船的这块板子。所以 board 你这样就不会搞错了。那 broad 是宽广的意思 ，abroad 变得很宽广，那不对了。Yeah.
Well, no, I mean abroad makes sense because you're going to the more wider world. So you're going abroad, you're going out to the wider world.
Yeah, 那就是出国 ，go abroad 就是去一个更广泛的世界。所以那个出国 abroad 那个或者在国外那个字跟宽广有关，但是呢，登船或者加入你这个是跟上这块板子有关啊，所以是个 aboard， 这样记就不会错了。那这个 welcome aboard 其实是很常用的一个说法，它常常它可以是个 greeting， 就是对这个 new employee， 他通常来的时候你就看 welcome aboard。那这个 welcome 跟 aboard 之间可以放一个名词啊 ，you can welcome someone aboard。所以这个例如你可以说这个well, I'd like you all to join me in welcoming aboard 这个 our new VP of Sales, Bruce Bagnall.Or
we could say, I'd like you all to join me in welcoming Bruce aboard. You could say
也
it
可以
like this.
对，所以两个都可以。所以 welcome aboard 把这个记起来很好用的一个片语。
I feel wanted.
You are, but you're not a VP of sales.
Okay, we've actually got two conversations or dialogues for you today, so let's get busy with our welcome aboard.
And since the first dialogue is two men, I'm going to do my very best male impersonation.
How are you going to do that?
You're going to be Howard, and I'm going to be Mitch.
Okay. We start with Howard. Your resume looks excellent.
Thank you.
But I noticed that you don't have any experience in this field.
I realize that, but I would really like to break into marketing.
Well, if you work hard, you'll catch on quickly. You're hired.
Great. You won't regret it.
Welcome aboard, Mitch. I believe you're going to fit in fine here. Okay, let's go through the lines here to make sure you understand the meaning. This is not an article, it is a dialogue, and the rules for dialogues concerning, say, grammar are
a little bit looser.
Yeah, they're less
strict.
What's the word? Yeah, that's the word I want. Strict. S-T-R-I-C-T. S-T-R-I-C-T. Anyway, Howard starts, he's talking to Mitch and says, your resume looks excellent. You have a very, very good resume, which is a written description of a person's education, work experience, and possibly other information that a boss might want to know before hiring somebody.
Another term for that is CV, capital C, capital V, or curriculum vitae.
那这个字啊 resume 或者是字典上面注的 resume 就是这个履历表。其实我听到的大部分都是念 resume.
Yeah,
这个
I've never heard anyone say resume.
Yeah, although our dictionary says, well, it's resume. Anyway.
We can resume this discussion another time.
Yeah.
Them's fighting words.
I know.
好，所以各位你也可以念 resume, 所以就是履历表。那另外一个说法是 CV. 那 looks excellent 就看起来很棒的意思。所以用 looks 其实也有点看起来是这样子的，那实际上怎么样那可能是另外一回事。不过基本上这是一句赞美的话 Your resume looks excellent.
And then Mitch goes, thank you, and then immediately gets cut off by his future boss.
Yeah, I noticed.
Very normal.
Why?
But I noticed that you don't have any experience in this field.
Just like that. That's the why. The
对
boss is just going on with their thought, and you shouldn't have said anything at all just then.
Yeah， 所以这个地方蛮有趣的，就是这个老板哈，这个 Howard 说啊，你这个履历表看起来还不错，那这 Mitch 就很高兴啊，谢，我正要讲的时候呢，那老板这个还有后话，你不要太高兴啊，不要高兴的太早啊，所以呢 ，But I noticed that 我注意到了 ，You don't have any experience， 你没有任何的经验 in this field， 在这个领域或者在这个业界，你没有任何的经验。这个 field 就是 a sphere 或者是一个 division of knowledge， 或者是 an area of human activity， 就是一个领域或者是一个业界。
So it's worse because he cut off the boss just when the boss was about to criticize him.
Yeah.
He rushed to say thank you, and then there was some bad news ahead.
Yeah, 所以这个是更惨的事。这个老板其实是要讲他有缺点，但他把这个老板的话打断了。老板刚讲完啊，你这个履历表看起来很棒啊，谢谢老板，马上就讲出来。那老板马上要抢过来哈，不让他讲完，马上说，哎，不对，但是呢，我注意到了，你在这个领域完全没有经验，所以完全没有经验 ，you don't have any experience。好了，后面可以讲 in this field。And
so Mitch is like, yes, I realize that. I am aware that I'm completely new to this. However, I would really like to break into marketing. Like, this is an area that I really would like to get into, and I'm hoping that I can catch a break and that you guys will hire me. I'll work hard, I swear.
Yeah. 好，所以 I realize that 哈，各位注意这时态哈 I realize that 这句话大概相当中文的这我知道。所以 I realize that 这我知道跟我知道其实也不太一样。各位有没有感觉中文里面这里老板说但是我注意到你在这个领域完全没有经验的，那如果你回答说这我知道跟我知道其实有一点点不太一样。所以呢这地方是 I realize 这我知道，就你讲这件事情我知道。Well, I have a question. Is it common to say I know here?
Yeah, I realize that sounds nicer.Because I know is like a little bit like, I know, a little protestive, a little too straightforward and rude a little bit. Here you have to be like more elegant. I realize that.
所以各位注意到这个地方，你如果说 I know， 有一点好像在抗议那种感觉，甚至于有一点点 rude， 有一点点这个没什么礼貌啊。因为 I know 其实中文里面也一样，中文里面我知道，有一点有的时候会让人家感觉说你不用讲了，我知道了，你这么简单的事情我知道了，边讲了。所以有的时候就没有那么的这个礼貌。所以这里啊，其实 I realize that 是比较 nice 一点，比较好一点的说法。所以各位注意到，这个是英文绘画里面很细微的差别哈。但是各位这个其实也是要学，因为我常常举一个例子，以前我们系上有一个这个外国教授，他跟我讲说，台湾的学生真的是没有礼貌。那我后来怎么会呢？我台湾的学生都是很有礼貌的。但是重点是我后来讨论之后，我才知道说是那学生英文没有掌握好，所以学生讲了一些其实不太礼貌的话，可是学生自己不知道，他可能以为没什么，像这个地方可能很多人讲我为什么不能说 I know， 不是一样吗？其实有一点点不同的地方，各位就要记得，像这种对话最好整段背起来。
You can say I realize that, you can also say I'm aware of that.
Yeah， 另外一个这个说法也不错，叫 I'm aware of that， 这个感觉是更礼貌一点。
And it's a little bit apologetic.I'm
aware of that 有一点点的这个抱歉的意思，就通常别人讲什么话，你对，这个我知道。
Although it depends on how you say it. You can also be like, I'm aware of that, which is not apologetic.
当然啦，这个如果说讲话语气很凶的话，再客气的话都变得很凶的话了。好，所以这地方各位注意 I realize that。然后呢 ，But I would really like to， 你也可以说 I really would like to， 也可以，都可以。那 break into marketing， 这个 break into what does it mean here? Break into。It
means
start working.
Start being able to do it. If you break into something, it means there was
like
originally...
breaking into someone's house?
No. It means originally there was a barrier, but you're able to overcome the barrier. So it is like breaking into someone's house in that you have to overcome a barrier to get into something. But it's not like you're stealing something or being somewhere you shouldn't.
所以这个地方 break into 其实我看到这片语，我马上想到就是你偷偷跑到人家家里面去行窃 break into someone's house。那在这里当然不是行窃的意思，这里呢有一点像就是所谓 break into 就是有一点点障碍，因为他在这方面完全没有经验嘛，所以他要进入这个领域呢是有一点点障碍，所以他这里说我真的很希望能够突破这些障碍，能够进入这个行销界去发展，是这个意思。
It's a little bit like suddenly, because you can break into song, and that means suddenly you're singing, and everyone's like, So it's like a sudden change is the break.
Yeah, 那另外一个这个 break into 也有那种暗示有突然的转变那种感觉，所以 break into song 就是突然之间开始唱起歌来了。所以在这里呢，用 break into 就带有这样的一些言外之意。一方面就是这是有一点点障碍的，但是我现在希望能够突破，能够进入这个业界。那同时呢，这可能有一点点这个突然之间的这样一个转变，因为我本来不是做这个的，现在做这个。所以其实我们讲的这些东西其实是很珍贵的东西，因为这些东西一般的书不会给你解释的这么详细。那在这里我们这里有2位 native speaker， 他们就会告诉各位啊，这个东西在英文里面这个片语这个字带来什么样的感觉。
Okay, Howard, the manager or boss, says, well, if you work hard, you'll catch on quickly. You're hired.It seems that there's enough information in the resume to convince Howard that maybe he doesn't have this work experience, and that is very important, but he has other qualities and knowledge that if he works hard, he will catch on. He'll understand what's going on around here and can contribute to our progress.
好，所以这个老板说 Well,If you work hard, 你如果努力工作的话 you will catch on quickly. Catch on 的相当于中文的上手，你很快就会上手。那什么叫上手？什么叫 catch on 呢？我们用英文去解释，可以说 to catch on 就是 to learn or understand something. 通常 usually 或 sometimes after an initial struggle. 你可能一开始有点像这个到一个新工作又不熟的地方，你可能一开始有点难，但是呢，后来你可以开始学会这个东西。所以这个是 catch on 的意思。那 you are hired就是我想求职者最喜欢听到的就是这句话 You are hired， 可是要听清楚，如果说 You are fired 它意思是完全不一样，当然场合也不一样。
I mean, the context is enormously different.
Yeah, 当然这上下文
You have to be hired before you're fired.
Yeah, 你要先被雇用才能够被 fired 不过这刚刚开一个玩笑。
And so Mitch, of course, says the thing you always say when someone tells you nice things like this. You're like, great! You won't regret it. You'll really be happy to have got me. This won't be a mistake for you.
Yeah, 这个 you won't regret it 就是你不会后悔的。通常就是别人给你一个机会，你就会这样讲说啊，你不会后悔的。这个例如说别人要请你帮他煮一餐 you won't regret it 就是我会很会煮等等。
They always say this in movies, but I've never heard anyone say this in real life, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
这很有趣啊，电影里面常常听到这个，我也都是电影里面听到。那这个 Angel 老师说他在现实生活里面好像没听过人家这样讲。不过
I mean, I've never said that.
Yeah, 不过电影里面真的常用。
Yeah.Our boss, Howard, says, welcome aboard, Mitch. That means, as he said earlier, you're hired, and come aboard as though he's off a boat and he can join them on the boat. I believe you're going to fit in fine here. I believe you're going to be a member of our group, and even though you still have a lot to learn, you seem to be eager to learn and eager to grow in your knowledge of marketing.
好，那所以这个老板就欢迎他加入这个团队。然后呢，他说我相信呢，你将会 fit in。 fit in 其实就是 to become accepted by a group， 所以就是英文里面常常讲 fit in with the group。 好，所以我相信你会融入的很好，你会很快就能够融入这个团队。那 fine 在这里呢是个副词，就是 very well 的意思。像英文里面常常讲说 I'm doing fine， 那个 fine 或者这个也就是 quite well 的意思啊，或者 that suits me fine， 这都是副词的意思。所以 fit in fine 就是我相信你没有问题的，你能够很快的融入这个团队。
Okay, now let's flip the page and take a look at sort of part 2. The title is Jack Up.
好，那 jack up 在这里我们的中文标题也就是这个 jack up 的意思，就是提高的意思，通常在这里指的是提高价格等等的。
It's usually used in the passive, by the way. We almost never talk about actively jacking things up, but usually things have been jacked up or are jacked up or were jacked up.
所以 jack up 如果用来指这个提高价格的时候，常用于被动，它常常是用在被动的情况。那这个地方的 jack 其实它当名词的时候可以指千斤顶，那当动词的时候呢，用 up 加起来就是用千斤顶把它顶起来，也就是提高或者是哄抬价格的意思。
And you know where this comes from, of course, is car jacks. Like if you need to change a tire, you need this little machine that will lift your car off the ground and support it so that you can change the tire without the car falling over. So if you jack something up, you just sort of pump it until the car gets pushed upwards.
没错，好，所以这个 jack 我们刚刚讲千斤顶啊，那其实就是最早是指那个像汽车 各位如果换过汽车轮胎的话，你就知道你要汽车换轮胎，你要有一个千斤顶，把车子抬高一点，你才能换轮胎。所以这个 jack 本来是这个意思，那 jack up 就变成了提高，尤其是提高价钱 to raise the price of something 的意思。
So we have two people again. We have the same guys from the last. I just realized they're the same guys. Let's see what happens.
We start with Mitch.
Oh, we start with Mitch. Yes,
Yeah.
that would be me. Okay. I'm sorry I'm punching in late, Howard.
Did you have car problems?
No, I'm riding my bike now.
Really? I thought you drove to work.
I did until the prices on gas were jacked up.
That must be tough. I'm glad I live within walking distance.
Well, when I had to decide between eating and gas, my stomach won out. Gosh, he's telling this to his boss that he was recently hired by? Maybe this was 2 years later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
所以这个如果我们跟前一段对话来的话，这个 Mitch 如果刚刚得到这个工作的话，他跟老板讲话应该不会这么的诚实，这么的没有避讳。
This seems more like a conversation between coworkers. I don't think you would tell your boss that you're not making enough and that you have to choose between feeding yourself and putting gas in your car. Like, that's just...
Yeah. 因为一般我们不会跟老板讲说，哎，我这个薪水不太够啊，现在我开车跟这个吃饭两个之间我只能选一个。
Well, right now, Howard wants to know why Mitch is late and asks, did you have car problems? Did you have some problem with your car? And that's why you're late?
Yeah, 好，所以呢，这个第一句 Mitch 他说呢 I'm sorry, I'm punching in late. Punch in 就是打卡，那 punch in 就是上班打卡。Punch out would be the opposite, right?
Yeah, because literally before you put a card in and the machine just made a hole in the right time slot. And so it literally you punched a hole, and so you punched to get into work, and then you punched to get out of work.Yeah,
所以这个 punch in 就是打卡上班，那 punch out 就是打卡下班。所以呢，这 Mitch 显然就是上班迟到了嘛，所以他说我很抱歉，I'm punching in late， 所以等于说我迟到了。那这个地方又很好玩，他用进行式 I'm punching in late， 感觉起来就是他如果说 I punched in late， 感觉起来这是已经过去的，好像已经成为事实的那种感觉。所以各位注意到这个地方他用进行式。然后呢，这个老板就问他 Did you have car problems？ 各位注意，那个用的是 did， 不是 do。是 did， 因为就是你迟到当时是不是因为你车子出问题，都是当那个时候的事情，所以是 Did you have car problems？ 你车子出了问题了吗？
Because if you said do you have car problems, it means do you usually have them?
因为你如果说 Do you have car problems？ 意思就是现在是，也就是说你是不是常常车子出问题那种感觉，所以意思是不一样的。
And so Mitch's answer was like, no, I'm riding my bike now. Which, if he was talking to his boss, he can't admit that he didn't leave early enough knowing that he's going to ride his bike and get late. You know what I mean? Like, he's just admitting that he's not a very good worker, that he, even though he's using different transportation, he hasn't left enough time to get there on time.
所以呢，其实这个 Mitch 他不是那么聪明的，因为他跟老板讲说我现在不是开车，我是骑脚踏车，但是你还是迟到了嘛。各位另外还要注意一点，就是 I'm riding my bike now， 意思不是说我现在正在骑脚踏车。
Yeah, it wasn't the first day. I'm riding my bike now means this has been happening for a while, so he should know by now how long it takes him to ride.
Yeah, 所以 I'm riding my bike now 意思就这一段时间我是骑脚踏车上班的，不是说我现在正在骑脚踏车。所以现在进行式有的时候可以用来表示一段时间，最近这段时间里面你反复会做的事情，或经常在做的事情。所以正因为如此，他现在他骑脚踏车上班，他更应该知道就是大概需要多少时间。所以老板听了之后怎么说呢？
He says, Really? I thought you drove to work. And as they just explained, Mitch, at least, besides telling his boss that he's riding his bike, what particulars, why this time you are late? If you've been riding your bike now, it doesn't mean right now, but recently, then he never mentioned this because Howard is surprised. What? Oh? I thought you drove to work. I thought you came to work still by car.
Yeah, can we say, I thought you drive to work?
You could say, because again, that's the case where this is the usual thing that happens. 我平常开车。
OK， 所以这个地方呢，其实比较常见的说法是 I thought you drove to work， 就是因为时态尽量是要一致 ，thought 是主动词，所以 drove 也用过去式。那你如果硬要强调，你真的要强调说我现在还是常常在开车的话，你可能可以说 I thought you drive to work。而且尤其是老板现在已经知道他现在不开车了，他骑脚踏车了，所以其实这句话平常有可能你会听到 I thought you drive to work， 但在这里一定是 I thought you drove to work， 因为他现在已经知道你没有在开车了，所以都是过去式 I thought you drove to work。 这个时态我常常会提醒各位，因为时态其实非常的重要，尤其在这个英文里面沟通，时态如果错的话可能会造成很不同的意思。
And so then Mitch said, yes, I did drive to work.That was the case before. Until this new situation. And the new situation is the prices on gas were jacked up. So somebody, not naming who, oil companies, raised the prices of gas and raised them significantly or quickly, because jacked up doesn't mean a slow process. It means suddenly gas is way more expensive.
所以 jacked up 第一个我们刚刚讲常常用被动，在这里用的是被动式。另外一个这个 were jacked up 通常这个表示涨价涨得很多，涨得很快，有的时候可能一夜之间它标签全换了这种感觉。那另外一个要注意的就是这个 the prices on gas， 你也可以说 the prices of gas 都可以。那 I did 就是 I did drive to work until 一直到油价突然之间飙升。
That must be tough, says the boss, Howard.I'm glad I live within walking distance.
Meanwhile, he's thinking about, am I paying this guy enough? Is this guy going to be asking for a raise soon? What's going on?
So he knows it'll be tough if gas, which is not only used to go to and from work, but in most Americans' daily life, they use a car for many reasons and purposes. And Howard admits, well, yeah, it's rough it's tough when the prices of anything go up a lot. I'm glad I live within walking distance of work. Where he lives is very close to where they work, his company. So he doesn't need to drive or even ride a bicycle. He can walk to work.
好，所以 that must be tough。 这个别人讲了他是最近碰到什么难的事情的时候，你常常可以这样讲 that must be tough。 Tough 就是不容易，这个困难的 difficult or troublesome to deal with 的意思。然后呢，接下来老板说 I'm glad I live within walking distance。 各位注意到这个是很常用的一个语块 within walking distance， 就是这个走路就可以到的意思。那如果要的话，你可以后面可以加一个 of work。 I live within walking distance of work， 就是我上班的地方离我住的地方走路就可以到的意思。
Well, says Mitch, when I had to decide between eating and gas, my stomach won out. My stomach won the battle in my wallet for whether I would pay for food or whether I would pay for gas.
Yeah, 这个 decide between 就是在两者之间选一个 to decide between。 所以我如果要在 eating 在吃饭跟 gas 跟油之间二者选一的话，那我的胃会 won out， 我的胃就赢了。换句话说，我会选吃饭。这个 won out 就是win out， 原型动词是 win out， 就是 defeat 的意思，或者你可以说 to prevail， P-R-E-V-A-I-L， 所以这个很好用。例如说 we had a vote and this is the book cover that won out， 就我们必须要投票，但是最后呢是这一个书的封面 that won out， 就是它胜出的意思，跟中文的胜出意思也很像。
Right. Okay, that's it for the 2 short dialogues for today.And we'll be back next month with a lot more interesting material for you. Until then,
bye-bye.